But this project really helped them relate to the Southeast region, something that seemed so far away. And it was so fun. And she was saying it was her second year doing the project. And she was like, it really worked out a lot better this year. And then she was saying, I'm going to ask the kids and have them vote on if they want to do that for every region. And obviously she was like, it would be a little different, like because they're on the Northwest region now. Obviously they're talking about Alaska. And she was like, maybe we could have like someone pretend to be a weatherman, and or assign a few kids as a weatherman and choose a state to report on every day about the weather, so they could kind of like collect data about the weather there compared to here. Which I told her, I was like, oh my gosh, you can use that in math. Like you could graph it. And she was like, that's a great idea. And I really was just like, I just had a lot of fun. Coming into this course, I was thinking social studies, okay, I'm going to have to learn about history because I don't remember a lot of history. And especially in my high school experience, I was in it was called a flexible program. So we didn't do as much of the state curriculum. We didn't use textbooks. It was all project-based learning. So I feel like I didn't have a great foundation, especially about like world history. But I really feel like a lot more confident now that I got to see it in classrooms, and I got to see how teachers really tailor their lessons towards their kids. And I'm just like, I feel like excited to teach social studies. And another thing I wanted to bring up. Last quarter I was in EE 326, which is Reading and Language Arts in the intermediate grades. And we had the Facing History people come in. I think they come into like that class every quarter. And again, like kind of we all showed up and we're like, oh no, like we have to listen to this boring presentation, which should not have been my reaction. That was me being lazy. But again, it was like an eye-opening experience. We talked about the Holocaust and how to teach kids about that. And it really was like, you can teach this at young ages. Like, to me, I originally would be like on the side that you shouldn't teach the Holocaust until like 5th or 6th grade, because no one needs to know about like gas chambers at such a young age. But it was like, you don't have to teach the specifics. You don't have to teach who, was being murdered every day. But you can teach kids about how to be a human being. Something I mentioned earlier in this video and that we talked about a lot in class. You can teach kids how to be kind and responsible. And that honestly seems like the purpose of social studies teaching to me. After everything we've learned, I think social studies is most important because you can teach kids to relate to other human beings, to have an open worldview, to challenge ethnocentric notions that a lot of classrooms have and a lot of students have, and to be kind. That's really it, to be kind and to be a human being. And that's something that's not reflected in Common Core state standards. It's not reflected on assessments. But I mean, when you think about the purpose of coming to school and the purpose of education, you don't think so you can memorize all these facts. So why is it that that's what a lot of schools focus on, or the government thinks we should focus on? That's a whole other conversation. I could go on for days. But I honestly, really, I'm just grateful for this course and my experience with my cooperating teacher and the students, really, because I feel so much more confident in myself going to be a teacher and student teaching next year. And I mean, I definitely owe that to Dr. Harper and to my peers, just for creating a warm environment that we could all participate in, and that I felt like I could be open and that other people were feeling the same way I was. So that's pretty much my reflection. I'm honestly just feeling good at the end of the quarter. Have a good spring break.